I welcome you all in second session of this course. In this session we will be discussing about what are the different success criteria of a project, what are different success criteria of an IT project, and we will also see what is capability maturity model in this session. Now, how would you say that a project is successful? I will give you just 15 seconds to answer this question. When will you say that a project is a successful one? Okay. So, let us see what a project should accomplish so that we can call it a successful project. There is something called iron triangle approach. We will say that a project is successful if we complete it within given time, if we complete it within given cost, and the project is performing for which it was developed. So, there are three criteria on which we should evaluate a project: time, cost and performance. But there are several people who think that these three criteria are not sufficient enough to define successful project. So, they have done this. They have added one more criterion, which is client acceptance. So, apart from time, cost and performance, the project should be accepted by client as well. Then only we will say that a project is successful. I will give you an example. Let us say if you are taking up an R&D project, and if you finished it in time, within cost, and it is performing also, but client is not ready to accept it because of some or the other reason, then it will not be a successful project. And there, as I said, there might be several reasons why a client is not accepting that project. Let us look at couple of objectives of project management or determinants of project success. Whenever you go for a project, you should look at its scope very carefully. Scope is nothing but the boundaries within which you are going to perform. For example, in cricket match, you have got a boundary. So, that is scope of the project. Similarly, in other sports also, you have got certain boundaries, certain limitations within which you have to work. Let us say if you are doing a project on people who live in slums. So, whenever you go for studying this kind of project, you should know a priori what you are going to do. For example, are you going to know about number of family members? Is one of the family members working somewhere in government organization or private organization? Do they have television? What is the area of the house in which they are living? And several other things you should know a priori before starting project, and this is known as scope of the project, because when you increase the scope of the project, your cost will increase, your time will increase, and performance will also be something different. So, as I said, you can have performance, and performance can be of different types. You can have technical performance, you can have marketing performance, you can have financial performance and so on. Of course, time is an important criterion. So, you need to complete project in time. As I said, the cost or budget of a project is a function of its scope, its time and its performance. So, if you want a better performing product or a project, then its cost would definitely be more than the previous cost. And finally, client acceptance. So, we have seen 4 success criteria of a project, but do you think that those 4 criteria would remain same when you talk about success of an IT project? You can always say that yes, those 4 criteria should be there, but you can add some more criteria to it. For example, you can just think for 5 minutes, if not for 5 minutes, you just think for 5 seconds. So, apart from time, cost, performance and client acceptance, what do you think an IT project should have, so that we can call it a successful project? Let us look at this. So, you need to have system quality. It should be easy to use. If I am going up let us say for an MIS project. So, at the end of the day it should be easy to use for me. So, system quality should be there, information quality should also be there, because MIS project would be giving me certain outputs at the end of the day. So, whether those output are actionable, if yes, then we will say the project is having information quality. It should be useful for the organization at the end of the day. So, it should solve problems, it should aid to your decision making process. User satisfaction, because let us say once again I will take the example of MIS project. So, those people who are using MIS project, it should fulfill their expectations, and the team members should feel satisfied after using that MIS project. Of course, individual impact should be there, because your decision making would be faster and it would be more accurate, and at the end of the day the project should impact your organization positively. So, these are couple of other things which you can add to the list of successful criteria, apart from those criteria which we have seen when we talk about IT project. There are couple of research in which people have said that software and hardware projects fail at 65% rate. Over half of all IT projects become runaways, you do not complete them in time. Up to 75% of all software projects are cancelled due to some or the other reasons. Average cost overrun is 45%, schedule overrun is 63%, with only 67% of originally contracted features. 47% of IT projects delivered but not used, and 29% paid for but not delivered, 90%, 19% abandoned. So, these are couple of statistics related to failure of IT projects, and as I said, the reasons could be several. So, let us look at 4 dimensions of project success. So, you have got time and budget criteria, you also have performance criterion, the second one is impact on customer, this is nothing but performance criterion, the third one is business success, and the fourth one is preparing for the future, because whenever you take up a project, it should help you in future. It is not only it should be useful in current times, but it should also be useful in future as well. we want organizations should be benefited from project, and these are couple of benefits an organization can get from projects. So, you have got improved efficiency and improved effectiveness. The major difference between efficiency and effectiveness is that efficiency deals with means of doing work, while effectiveness deals with whether you are doing right work or not. Effectiveness is always focused on end results, while efficiencies deal with how you are doing things at a particular point of time. So, you have got increased profit. Of course, profit should increase, it should the project should help in achieving strategic goals. At the end of the day, from every project you learn something. You should record those learnings, and you should not repeat if mistakes committed by you in a project in future. And of course, one of the benefits is reduced waste. Now, there are several stakeholders in a project. So, these are a couple of benefits for stakeholders. At the end of the day, you have got satisfied users, social and environmental impact. Whenever you take up a project, you should see how it is affecting your society and environment at large, and we will see some other points also, how you should select a project. Personal development, professional learning, capital supplier, because for doing a project you need funds, and capital supplier is one of the stakeholders. So, how you are meeting the expectations of capital supplier, and how that project is impacting surrounding community, because whenever you do something in a project, it will positively or negatively affect some or the other stakeholders. So, understanding success criteria, you have got iron triangle, you have got information system, you have got benefit to the organization and benefit to stakeholders. So, in short we will say that these are different success criteria, namely once again iron triangle, information system, benefits to organization and benefits to stakeholders. Now, let us look at something called CMM model. It is called capability maturity model. Those who are working in IT and software related firms, they would be knowing about CMM model, but there are several people who really do not know what is CMM. So, CMM is nothing but capability maturity model. We will see this in detail. So, what is capability maturity model or project management maturity model? It allows an organization to benchmark its best practices of the successful project management firms. I will give you an example. Let us say in your organization you are doing several activities. For example, let us say procurement, let us say quality control, let us say manufacturing, and there would be several competitors of yours. So, you select the industry leader in your area and compare your processes with the industry leader. So, your industry leader will also be having procurement processes, you are also having procurement processes. So, compare them and then try to move towards the procurement process of your competitor. This is in short capability maturity model. If you look at How to develop project management maturity model? There are basically 4 models. The first is developed by Carnegie Mellon University, Software Engineering Institute of that university. You have got Center for Business Practices, the second model. Then you have got Kerzner's Project Management Maturity Model, and then you have got Education Service Institution International's Project Framework. So, these are 4 basic models as far as capability maturity models are concerned. Let us look at one by one. We will not go in detail, but I will tell you what is there in Software Engineering Institute, Carnegie Mellon University's CMM model. Okay, before I go for those models, let us look at some other things related to project management maturity model. So, what you do in project management maturity model, you benchmark your practices with the best practices available in your area, and then you move towards those levels. We know that in organizations you will have different level of sophistication as far as processes are concerned. Let's take for example procurement process. In your organization you might be having a traditional procurement process, and with your competitor they might be using some sophisticated procurement method. So, what you should do? You should try to move towards in that direction. Initially you will have different level of sophistications, and we do accept that organizations have got different sophistication level. So, the purpose of benchmarking is to improve our processes. We benchmark our processes with the industry leader. Many times when you start a new business, you really do not know what to do. You do not have standardized processes in your organization. So, where to start with? So, what you should do? You should look at what are the other competitors doing and benchmark your practices with their practices. So, maturity model provides necessary framework to first analyze and evaluate current practices, second compare them with the chief competitor, industry standards, and the third one is take a systematic route for improving your processes or practices. So, this is development of project management maturity model. Maturity model offers a template for defining and then achieving such progressive improvement. Maturity model charts both set of standards currently accepted as well as processes for achieving significant movement towards these benchmark. Now, let us look at this web diagram through which you would understand in a better way what I am telling. Let us say in your organization there are several processes, let us say project scheduling, structural support for project management and so on, and your chief competitor has also got these processes. Now, if in your organization let us say you are at this level, when you compare your networking with the competitors networking, then this is your position, and let us say your chief competitor is at this level 3 point. So, you should benchmark your process with chief competitor and you should try to move from 1 to 3. This is CMM, capability maturity model. Similarly, if let us say this is your process, project scheduling, and you are the top leader in this process, you always complete projects in time, and let us say at this point is your competitor. So, he should benchmark his processes with your process of project scheduling and let him achieve the level of his project scheduling process to this level. So, this is nothing but a process of first of all identifying your practices, benchmark them with the practices of industry leader, and then systematically move towards that direction. This is another example. So, you can have different processes. For example, you can have corporate support, you can have training, you can have several KPIs and so on. So, you can have benchmarking of your processes with the industry leader. Let us talk about those maturity models. The first one is Center for Business Practices. So, this has got 5 levels. In the first level, in almost all the models, in the first level you have got ad hoc processes. You do not know much initially about processes of the organization. Slowly and slowly you will understand about rules and regulations, you will understand about roles and responsibilities, you will understand about decision making process, and towards end you will always have something called optimization. So, now here everything is well established, well defined, and from here onwards you should try to continuously improve. So, if you look at this model, the first level is initial processes and the fifth level is optimization. Similarly, in Kuzners project management maturity model, you have got level 1 and you have got fifth level, which is continuous improvement. So, in between you can have different levels, for example, common processes, singular methodology, benchmarking, and after continuous improvement, what should be the next level? You just continuously improve, right. So, in fact, here you have achieved optimization, and after that you need to continuously improve it. It is called Kaizen. Then you have got ESI's International Project Framework. As I said, in this model also, initially you have got ad hoc processes and finally you have got optimization, and in between again there are 3 levels. If you look at the Carnegie Mellon's model, here also you have got initial processes, ad hoc processes, and optimization. So, there are almost 5 levels in each of these models, but at the end of the day you can say that this is a standardized CMM model. So, what you are having? You have got low maturity in the beginning in an organization, you will not have common languages, you will have very little support from your team members. over a period of time things would start improving. So, you will have moderate maturity, things would start settling down, there would be different training programs, you would have support from your team members, you will have some defined practices, and at the third level you have got high maturity. So, in this diagram there are only 3 levels: low maturity, moderate maturity and high maturity. You can have 5 levels also. Now, these are the 10 knowledge areas which I have been talking about. One should study project management on these 10 areas, and these 10 areas are: you have got project integration management, project cost management, project human resource management, risk management, you have got procurement management, how do you purchase raw materials, semi finished goods and so on, scope management, very important knowledge area, because if you do not define scope properly, then your cost would be very high. You have got time management, one of the important knowledge areas, time management. In fact, you would have those who are civil engineers, they would have definitely studied PERT and CPM. So, this is that point. You have got quality management, you have got communication management, and you have got stakeholders management. We will see these things in detail in coming lectures. Just to remember, you can call these 10 areas as PERT SSQCC, PIRTH SSQCC. These are 10 areas. It is PERT SSQCC. P is for procurement, I is for integration, R is for risk, T is for time, H is for human resource management, S is for stakeholders management, the second S is for scope management, Q is for quality management, C is for cost, and C is for communication. So, you can easily remember these 10 areas by remembering PERT SSQCC. So, apart from those 10 areas, you have got different processes in each area. For example, if you have got integration management. So, in project integration, you need to first develop a project charter, develop project management plan, direct and manage project work, monitor and control project work, perform integrated change control, and close project phase. So, these are 6 processes in integration management area. Similarly, you can have different number of process in each of those remaining 9 areas. So, we can say that there are total 47 processes. That is what I said in the beginning, it is 10 by 47 course, 10 knowledge areas and 47 processes. So, so far we discussed about project management, what are different characteristics of a project, what are different success criteria of a project. Now, let us look at another topic which is on success, how to get success in a project, because success of a project depends on several things. Broadly, we will say that success of a project depends on strategy. What is the strategy of the organization? What is the organization structure? And what is the culture of the organization? Apart from these things, there are several other things upon which project success depends, but we will see only these 3. So, strategy. What is the strategy? Just try to think over it. What is strategy? Yes, you are right. Strategy is this. Strategy is nothing but science of formulating, implementing and evaluating cross-functional decisions that enables an organization to achieve its objectives. So, first of all you need to formulate policies, formulate plans by looking at availability of resources, because you will always have constraints on resources. So, you need to formulate it. Once you are done with formulation, you need to implement your plans and policies. And for making a strategy, you will have to sit together, you will have to have members from cross functional areas of the organizations and then plan your strategy. That is why it is cross functional decision making process. You will have experts from, let us say, marketing area, finance area, IT, HR, quality, manufacturing and so on. So the top management of the organization will always prepare strategy, and how good your strategy is, it will reflect in your project's success as well. If you look at strategic management, it consists of developing vision statement and mission statement. When I say vision and mission, vision is nothing but what is the basis for existence of your organization, that should be your vision, why you are there in business. The very purpose of existence of your organization is should be your vision, why you are there in marketplace at the end of the day. So, as I said, it is formulating, implementing and evaluating cross functional decisions based on SWOT analysis and resources. So, you should prepare a strategy based on your strengths, weaknesses, because strengths and weaknesses are internal and opportunities and threats are external. So, you should look at the opportunities available in market and what are the threats available in market. So, look at SWOT analysis very carefully and then come up with strategies. As I said, cross functional decisions, you have got experts from different departments and achieving objectives. As I said that nowadays organizations achieve their strategies through projects. In other words, projects are building blocks of the organization. Whatever organization does, it does through projects. So, there is a strong relationship between strategy and project. Projects are stepping stones of corporate strategy. Firm's strategic development is driving force behind project development. You can look at a couple of examples. Let us say if a firm wants to reduce wastages, then what kind of project it should take? It should take up project of, let us say, how to reduce work in process inventory, how to reduce finished goods inventory, how to reduce let us say manufacturing time in an assembly line and so on. So, these kind of projects will help in reducing waste. Let us say if a firm wishing to redevelop products or processes, So, what kind of project it should take? It should take projects related to re-engineering, or let us call business process re-engineering projects. Let us say if a firm wants to improve cross organizational communication and efficiency. So, what kind of project it should take? It should take projects related to IT systems. Similarly, you can have some other examples as well. For example, creation of new strategic alliance is what a firm is looking for. To achieve this, firm can take up supply chain management project. For example, new distribution strategy is what the firm is looking for. So, what could be the possible project for this? Yeah, this supply chain management can be a project for achieving new distribution strategy. Now, there is always a relationship between strategies and projects. So, at the top you have got mission of the organization, then you have got objectives, you have got several strategies. You can fulfill those strategies through goals, and goals can be achieved through programs, and programs can be achieved through projects. So, there is an indirect relationship we can say exists between strategy and projects. So, we will take up an example. So, let us say mission of an organization is to become number 1 company in the world in non residential AC market. So, this is the mission of the organization. Now, this mission can be achieved through having different objectives. So, let us say the first objective is 15% return on investment is needed. Let the second objective is non-decreasing dividends should be paid to the stakeholders, to the shareholders, and the third objective could be more socially and conscious image. So, if you set up these 3 objectives, you would be achieving mission. And what is the mission? To become world leader in non-residential AC market. So, for objectives you can have these strategies. So, either you focus on existing market or you focus on some new market, let us say in some international market, or you can come up with a new product line in existing market, and you can do several other things as well. So, these are your strategies. Now, when you have got these strategies, you can have goals also. So, let us say for achieving 15% return on investment, first of all in first 4 years you want 8% return on investment. Later on you can increase return on investment to 9% and so on. Now, this can be achieved through different programs. So, let us say you can have a product cost improvement program or working capital improvement program. You can have image assessment program, product development program. So, through these programs, now in these programs you can have different projects, and through those projects you can achieve your strategies. So, this is an example of alignment between strategic element and projects. So, let me conclude what we have done in second session. We have seen several success criteria. The most important one is iron triangle. So, for a project to be a successful, it should complete it should be completed in time, it should be completed within budget, and it should deliver the desired performance. And we have also seen several other criteria, namely we have seen quadruple approach, we have also seen what benefits should a project bring to the organization and to several stakeholders. And as far as CMM model is concerned, we have seen there are different CMM models available, and in capability maturity model, initially we have processes which are very ad hoc, and towards end we have got optimized processes. So, thank you very much.